By 1924, Crowley was living in poverty in France. An old friend and famous literary figure and occultist, Frank Harris, kindly took him under his roof. Frank Harris lived with a woman by the name of Nellie O'Hara. If what has been written in later years can be believed, Nellie had a friend in America, Pauline Pierce, who was married to Marvin Pierce, head of the McCall Corporation. In early 1924, Pauline traveled to France to stay with her friend. Thus it was that four individuals came together: Frank Harris, Nellie O'Hara, Pauline Pierce, and Aleister Crowley. According to Crowley's diaries, during this period in Paris, Crowley underwent the supreme ordeal, linked with his realization of the grade of ipsissimus. According to a description of the rite, on the appointed day, the candidate is attended by one or more chosen and experienced attendants whose duty is A, to exhaust him sexually by every known means, B, to rouse him sexually by every known means. Every device and artifice of the courtesan is to be employed, and every stimulant known to the physician. If Crowley did go through this ordeal in 1924, then it is highly likely, based on his previous experiences, that his closest associates of that time, including Nellie and Pauline, performed as his magical assistants. Pauline Pierce returned to America in early October of 1924. 8 months later, on June the 8th, 1925, she gave birth to a girl named Barbara. Barbara Pierce married George H.W. Bush, who eventually became the 41st President of the United States, and they had a son, George W. Bush, the 43rd President of the United States. Could the wickedest man in the world, Aleister Crowley, be George W. Bush's grandfather?
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. What a tragic day it is. I know a lot of people out there are mourning today and very emotional, very upset after the passing of Barbara Crowley, better known by her alias, Barbara Bush. And all you could do is really hope that Barbara repented before she passed and found salvation through Jesus Christ. But I'd have to say, the odds of that are pretty much slim to none. But hey, never say never. But I have a feeling that right now, Barbara's getting her wish. What Barbara wanted, like all these Satanists want. They want to reign in hell, and they're going to love life in hell. I mean, these people are out of their minds, but they're coming for you, Barbara.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
Now, don't be confused. That wasn't George H.W. Bush walking through the cemetery there, even though George H.W. Bush looks more like a zombie than the actual zombies in Night of the Living Dead. Nonetheless, Barbara Bush, at the age of 92, the widely, quote, admired wife of a president and the fiercely loyal mother of another, died Tuesday evening in her home in Houston. She was 92. On Sunday, the office of her husband, former President George Bush, issued a statement saying that after counseling her family and her doctors, Miss Bush/Crowley had decided not to seek additional medical treatment and will instead focus on comfort care. The Bushes had celebrated their 73rd wedding anniversary in January, making them the longest married couple in presidential history. Miss Bush had been hospitalized with pneumonia in December 2013. She underwent surgery for a ulcer in 2008 and had heart surgery 4 months later. she made it to 92, but maybe she was just excited to go and finally meet her father, who is burning in the lake of fire. Or some people don't believe that they're there yet. Whatever your belief is, Aleister Crowley has a one-way ticket to hell. Okay? No round-trip ticket, one way. So maybe she wanted to go and finally unite with her father. Remember, folks, when these people pass, a lot of the times, they pass on their own schedule, meaning that if they know that they're going to die or they're very close to death, they will do a ritual where they actually believe that they can transfer their soul into another body, into an empty vessel. That's what they do when they perform these rituals on children. You know, they put them through the trauma-based mind control. They rape them, they abuse them, and they actually believe that they can take possession of their soul. And that's how they carry and keep a lot of these bloodlines going, in addition, obviously, to giving birth through incest and other disgusting things that they do. But that is what they believe. So likely she had her ritual yesterday where she believed that she was transferring over to another body, another vessel. And sooner or later, I guess George Sr. might be on that ticket. But I don't know. I mean, this guy is just going and going and going like the Energizer battery. I mean, some people think he's not even alive, that they're just rolling out, you know, a fake body here. And that wouldn't surprise me either. An old man in zombie attire, like I always say, the grandfather from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It says, as the wife of the 41st president and the mother of the 43rd, Miss Bush was only the second woman in American history to have her son of hers follow his father to the White House. Abigail Adams, wife of John Adams and mother of John Quincy Adams, was the first. Another son, Jeb, the governor of Florida, was an unsuccessful candidate. During the campaign, he was repeatedly personally derided in personal terms by the eventual nominee and now President Trump, prompting Miss Bush, who was never shy about expressing her views, to lash back, suggesting in television interviews that Mr. Trump was a hate monger. Now they just go on to talk about more so her life than her actual passing, more so about her relationship with George Sr., and of course, they push, the philanthropy, the things that these people do. Remember, the things that all of these Satanists do while they're here, we should all just be bowing down. Because every one of them happens to be a philanthropist, remember. Every one of them is just giving to charity and doing all this stuff. No one's looking and seeing what they're really doing behind closed doors. Oh, she did, look, I mean, talking about how much she did for Hurricane Katrina, even though, yeah, we won't even get into that because I don't need to get my video flagged. But who's responsible for that? And weaponizing weather and stuff with her son. Sure, yep, she's a real philanthropist. So, I guess you can add another person to that list. You know, like I said before, these elder statesmen who want to see this New World Order pass before they go, they're fighting against God. They're fighting against Father Time. And while they might take their own lives before they naturally go in a lot of cases because they want to do this bizarre ritual that they do where they transfer their souls. They believe they transfer their souls, which they don't. Okay, these souls are going straight to hell. But their time's running out. You know, Kissinger, Bush Sr., all these guys, their time is running short. They're trying to usher this in. And that's one of the reasons I fully believe that we've seen so much stuff happen so fast over the last couple years. You know? A lot of it has to do, too, with the youth out there, the younger politicians, younger bloodlines to these people, and how they're, you know, just as sloppy and lazy as most of the people out there we point a finger at and say, look at these people with their technology. They're falling off cliffs playing Pokemon. They don't know what's going on. The same can be said for a lot of these younger bloodline members, that they're sloppy, they're lazy. You know, we see these people posting on Instagram all the time, showing themselves off. You know, we've seen stuff with symbols of pedophilia and all this stuff, showing it openly and publicly, and people calling them out. So we'll see what happens in the future. But Barbara is on her way to be reunited with her father, the man who called himself the Beast, Aleister Crowley. Finally, they get to meet face to face. So I hope she got her wish. I hope everything she did in this life was worth it for her to get her ticket to hell. And of course, remember, she always could have repented before she passed. But, I mean, if you want to be naive and believe that, go ahead. But I'm not going to be. Because these people, especially the Bush family, Remember, they're involved with the creation of the Central Intelligence Agency, which is highly, involved in the trafficking of children. Okay, Bush has been linked to the Franklin cover-up and so many other things, Bush Sr. So, you want to talk about a wicked family, and they call Aleister Crowley the wickedest man alive. Well, that's one of the wickedest families that's ever lived, the Bushes. You can go all the way back to Prescott. You can go back to Skull and Bones. One could only imagine. I don't think anyone could imagine the things that a lot of these people have done. These people are monsters. I don't think any of us could fathom the types of rituals and types of abuse that they put children through, put other people through. Not to mention what they put all of us through every day with dumping chemicals on us, giving us anxiety, depression, making us sick, giving us cancer, autism, Alzheimer's. All of this stuff. These are the families that are involved with doing it. These are the bloodline families, and the Bushes are one of them. So, Barbara, enjoy your journey. Tell your father I said he better get some strong SPF down there, because he's going to be burning for a long time, too. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.